Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you guys are having a good afternoon. So my presentation is going to be a lot different because this is not something that's come from school. It's more of my own ideas and just kind of like a geographical understanding, since I'm kind of like a puzzle piece. So I try to fit everything into just a kind of like a paradigm or something. So I kind of want to just suggest that we're headed towards a decentralized system of energy production. I'm not going to get into it right now. At first I want to tell you how I actually got the idea so you guys can understand where I'm coming from here. So about 3 months ago, I was rowing on this erg machine in my basement, and I know this might seem kind of random, but I was probably an hour in, and I'm like, wow, I just worked out a long time. And all that energy is going to that turbine and nothing more than that. And it's kind of too bad, I was thinking. Why can't that energy be put into my district, or not my district, my home energy system, and contribute to maybe charging my phone, or even just contribute to my heating bill? So I know you guys might think, wait, well, 1 hour on a rowing machine is kind of not, like, really, that's really little. So what's the point of this, really? Well, the point is I'm trying to make here is that we are producing our energy. Nobody's producing our energy anywhere. And this concerns me because I assume energy is second nature. I assume it comes into my life. And it doesn't even, it's unconscious the whole time. I charge my phone, it's just like, yeah, for sure, I'll charge my phone. And not only that, but we're dependent on this energy system for our whole lifestyle, which is like the car, cooking, just getting emails. It's all dependent on an energy system. So what I'm trying to suggest here is that we're alienated, as Marx would say, human geography, is we're alienated from the production of energy. The whole system is completely disconnected from our lives. So I did some research, and it didn't surprise me, but it kind of did, that we are leading the way in terms of energy consumption. Now, this doesn't seem like anything because it's just a number. Like I said, this is watts. Watts don't mean anything to me in terms of experience because they don't connect to a direct reality. So this means that the energy, the externalities are globalized rather than local. We just don't experience the devastating effects of our energy consumption, and we live in a nice, livable Vancouver, which is awesome, but there's nothing about how that impacts the global environment. So what I'm suggesting is that this is abstract. There's no way of knowing if that number is sustainable. Do we know? Well, the next slide will actually show that, wait a second, it takes 4.1 Earths for United States and 4.2 for Canada to sustain our habits. Now this is kind of alarming to me because how are we supposed to live, how are we supposed to be livable if we aren't sustainable or resilient? How are we supposed to have a city that can sustain the future if it doesn't have a sustainable way of energy production? And how are we supposed to be sustainable if we aren't aware of our consumption? There's no communication going on. At the end of my day yesterday, I had no idea how much I consumed. I had no idea how much energy I was taking from the environment. It's a unit at 12,000 watts. What does that mean to me? Nothing. If I transfer that to, okay, that's 10,000 hours on my erg machine, then I start understanding, hey, this is actually a lot of energy I'm consuming, and that's not resilient. So what I'm going to suggest to us is that we're going to be moving towards a paradigm, the next paradigm of decentralization. This system is going to be much more resilient. We're going to be conserving energy and being economical at the same time. We're going to be energy independent, and we're going to have a complete shift towards renewables. So what does this mean to us? Well, basically we're going to have a higher awareness. We're going to be producing ourselves, and we're going to be saving money while saving the environment. So this is really positive in my opinion. So, well, how will this happen? I'm here to explain to you guys why I think it's going to happen. And you guys don't have to be completely convinced, but hopefully by the end of this you guys maybe understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, so the green energy revolution is currently happening right now. I'm not sure if you guys are following the news, but IBM about a week ago released a photovoltaic high concentration energy system that is capable of powering the energy sun's into 2,000 times its energy, which is insane, like actually insane. So picture you outside with the sun. That ray that they produce there is 2,000 times greater than the ray you get on your hand, which is really impressive. And this isn't surprising that solar PV is decreasing in terms of energy production, and it's surpassing fossil fuels like diesel. So this is huge because not only is renewable energy becoming efficient, it's also becoming economically efficient as well. So environmental and economical efficiency. It's not only that though. Also by the end of this month, very exciting, is that Tesla's home battery is getting released. And this is actually very revolutionary for renewable energies, because I'm not sure if you guys know, but the biggest problem keeping renewable energy competitive is that it was intermittent. So intermittence basically means that the sun shines when it shines. The wind blows when it blows. You don't decide when you get your energy. It comes to you when it does. So what the battery systems like Tesla are doing is that they can charge a battery. So the sun can charge the battery throughout the day, and you can use it during the night. Now, I'm not sure if you guys make the connection to that, but that means people can go off-grid. They don't have to be dependent on a system of energy production anymore. They can just go into the forest and be with the wolves and have their own, they can just chill on their own. And this is very empowering to people, because now we have the capacity to create our own energy, and we don't have to rely on an unsustainable system, an unresilient system. We are becoming resilient simply by being able to produce our energy ourselves. But it's really not just this stuff that's making an energy or decentralization possible. Another huge aspect is the emergence of smart grids. Now, what are smart grids? Basically, at the easiest form, it's the computerization of our energy grid system. Now, what this means is no longer, if you guys might know that we live in a paradigm where we're in a centralized system. So production comes from separate nodes, and they get fed to the consumer. There's no two-way feedback possible. But what the smart grid does is it allows for data collection from the consumer and the producer. And from that point, there's communication, constant communication between producer and consumer, leading to all kinds of economies and efficiencies for the environment. So I'm here to tell you what this is going to do. So as you guys can see here, a smart grid, it basically branches everything together. The computerization it's genius what computers can do, but they can basically take all this together, all the production, all the consumption, and see how it all fits together, which allows for direct communication, direct measuring of how efficient an energy system is progressing throughout the day, and it's easily adaptable for renewable energies too. So, as you guys, I just told you that our renewable energy system is intermittent. So intermittence basically means that it's unpredictable, and it leads to all kinds of complications for a centralized system, because it creates this unpredictability, messes with the system because they can't measure it. But now they can measure the production coming from everywhere, which translates back to a system that's very efficient. So what does this mean? Basically, our system of society will become kind of like the shape of the internet. People will be empowered. People will have the ability to produce themselves and help others as well. Some people here can just be completely off-grid, but most people are going to share their energy, hopefully. And this is very good, because this is democratization of energy. Dispersed power. So if there's an earthquake, the system is ready because people have energy at their fingertips already. And there's just overall smarter relationship with energy because people will be consuming it. Okay, so what does this mean to us? If you guys haven't made some connections, I will make them quite explicit now. This is going to lead to connectivity. Huge. This is going to be huge for us because, as you guys can see here, we will have our consumption talking to us every point of the day. We can look at how much we're consuming before, after, yesterday, tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, maybe not, but but okay. The point is that this is a system. Now these two, this is Windows tablets and Windows phones. This was actually adopted into the ICI grid. This is in Issy-les-Mouliniers in France, which is the first smart grid city. Now this first smart grid city gives all its users a tablet for their energy at home, and they can choose to purchase one of these as well. And it allows them to be involved in their energy consumption, so they can actually manipulate when they take a shower or when they power their dishwasher, and they will start understanding that, hey, wait a second, energy demand creates the different efficiencies of energy as well. So as an energy system, as we progress throughout the day, this peaks around 5 p.m. and this costs a lot more money. But when everyone's using energy at 5 p.m., it's an insane amount more money to power these lower efficient grids. Now what this does is that people, like, if your producer says, hey, you can use this energy, if you can take a shower maybe 2 hours later, this will save you $8. Now, there's an incentive for people to save energy now. No longer are we like, oh, what's the point of turning off the light now? What does that really do? Well, there's actually direct communication with the user that they can know that, hey, this is actually having an impact on my life. This is saving my money, and it's saving the environment as well. So the economy and the environment are working together here. This is very, very optimistic. This is a very optimistic thing, I think. We're also going to become energy independent, so we can track our energy consumption. We'll become 100% responsible of our energy. We'll be finally responsible because we can see, wow, that party I had on the weekend, that really just took a lot of energy to make. And now I have to work it back again, right? We're going to be saving money and conserving. Consumers, I hope, will be motivated and empowered to have more control over their energy impacts. So, I hope this will lead to smarter cities with more individual awareness. So energy efficiencies, all kinds of decreased miscommunications between producer and consumer, which will overall lead to sustainable, responsible, and resilient people. Finally, this is a drawing I made. With local scale energy, as you guys know, people produce energy and people consume energy, and this is usually very geographically displaced, and this is a big problem. All kinds of energy inefficiencies and losses are made through transportation. People, I think it's something like 60% of energy, unless we up the ante and get those really good power lines, there's so much energy loss based on transportation. So simply having a centralized system, you lose all kinds of energy. So if energy was produced locally, well, obviously not going to be relying on an erg machine, but let's just say you have a solar panel and a wind panel in your community. What I'm saying is that people will now have complete energy independence. They won't have to depend on the economy, which is screwed. So this is my motivation: is that we have an economy that is completely based on endless growth and that does not sustain us. So if we keep being dependent on this, we're not in a good position. So I would suggest that we'd rather move towards a system where we can actually create our own energy. And finally, we'll be resilient from earthquakes, and we'll have local energy, local food, and maybe, just maybe, when there's an earthquake that hits, I can charge my phone if I have no power through my erg and then get that emergency call. So, thank you very much.